Hello. I think we're live now. So how's it going? Today is Wednesday. It is the 6th of February, and today we're going to be, well, what I want to work on today is python3.8 Alpha 1 recently came out, and I went through a bunch of my projects and wanted to see how they fare against the alpha, and a few tests are failing. I think this is actually a good thing, but I haven't looked into it yet, and so I think that's what we'll do on this stream. I suspect the same failures. So there's two projects that are affected. One of them is add trailing comma, which is a tool that, well, adds trailing commas, basically. It also does a couple of other things, like this is still just commas. It'll unhug parentheses so that you'll end up with a comma, and it'll re-indent stuff that looks like this. Because I think that looks much nicer than the alternative. But one of the things that it has to deal with, and I'm pretty sure this is where stuff changed, is tuples. Is there an example of a tuple? No, we don't have any examples of tuples in the README, but tuples act slightly differently in the AST than everything else, mostly because the parentheses aren't actually part of the syntax itself. They're just a line grouping mechanism. The only thing that makes a tuple is the comma. It's like you see, like one comma is a tuple. These parentheses don't actually, even though they're displayed in the repr, they don't actually mean anything. And so like x equals 1 comma, like still the same. Although I guess that's not strictly true because the empty tuple has parentheses, but I think that's a special case in the AST or whatever. But let me install something so we can visualize some stuff. If we have a tuple, just make a very simple one. You'll see, let's see. Yeah, the tuple gets the line number of 2 and offset of 4. But if we look at it, like the opening brace is actually on line 1, but it's taking the first position of the first element as the starting point. Which isn't exactly correct, but whatever. And I think maybe that might have improved in python3.8, and that's why my tests are failing. That's my hunch. But we're gonna try and figure that out. The first thing that we're gonna do is get a copy of python3.8. Did I say 3.7? I meant 3.8. Is get a copy of 3.8. The easiest way to do that is to clone it from Git. I've already cloned it because it's kind of big and it takes a while. But if you want to get it, it's github.com/python/cpython. cpython. She shells, CPython shells by the seashore. Anyway. The next step is to build an environment with python3.8. Fortunately, I've done this before, so I have directions on my Scratch wiki. Basically, we're going to make a prefix, build it into that prefix, and then install it into that prefix. And then we'll be able to use virtualenv to create copies of it, because I don't really want to mutate that prefix. We'll start by making that prefix. I'm going to say the word prefix a lot. And pwd is just the working directory that we're in right now. This spews a bunch of output. I will save you the dropped frames, so we'll just let that run in the background. Yeah, well, while we're doing that, I'm gonna make a virtualenv of python3.7 so that we can compare against 3.8 and see what's different. Instinctively typed 3.6. That's what I usually tend to work in, but we're gonna use 3.7 today. So I'm just gonna install a bunch of stuff. This configure is done. Okay, the configure is done, so then we can do meg j4 install, and then that's gonna spew a bunch to the screen, and I'll save you guys the frames there. We're doing a speed run of compiling CPython. Yeah, so just to get started, like all of the tests are currently passing in 3.7, but when I went to run them in 3.8, we had 5 failing tests. And looking at the failing tests, like this one involved a tuple, this one involves a tuple, this one involves a tuple, yeah. This one is a tuple containing function calls, so that one's also a tuple. And this one is a tuple, so I'm pretty sure that's what the problem is, but we'll find out. This finished yet? Nope. Compiling CPython can take a while. Fortunately, it's actually not that long. Well, then I'll just sit here and twiddle my thumbs. Oh no, I resized my VM. Okay, did it crash? No, we're good. Sometimes resizing the window there causes this to crash. I haven't figured out and don't really want to debug window managers, so we'll just hope that doesn't happen. Okay, it's at the last part where it puts all the files into the directory. It's almost compiled. Alright, here we go. So now, after I've built it, it's built basically a prefix environment which looks similar to like user. So you have like bin include lib and share in the same way you would have bin include lib and share. Obviously source, sbin, local, and games don't get involved here. Because last I checked, CPython is not a game, when it could be a game. Alright, so now we can create a virtualenv from python3.8. And if we check, we now have 3.8.0 alpha 1 plus. What's the plus for? Oh, because I built it from not exactly alpha 1. Because I guess master has progressed since the alpha got released. We are slightly in the future from alpha 1. And hopefully our requirements install. They did last time I tried, so I assume they still will. The build coverage from source, I guess, and pyaml. But now we can see. Oh. Now we can see that we have our failing tests. So what I'm going to do is take, or at least try and find the simplest one of these failing tests and put it in a file and look at it. I think this is the simplest one. I think the dash is a comma? Oh, I don't even know. Well, we'll assume that's a comma. Yeah, so this is a very simplest case of like, add trailing comma should be adding a comma here. We'll put 3.7 on the left, I guess. What's up, Heart of Dragon Sky? I don't have any buttery noodles for you though. I'm working on some open source software. So first I'm going to look at the tokenization, make sure that they're the same. At a glance they look the same. I guess I can compare the two. I mean, I don't forget many things, but yes, I do remember that. So it looks like they tokenize the same. The next is to look at whether their ASTs are the same. I suspect this is where we'll see the difference. I'm hoping it's in this tuple line number. Oh, it is. Perfect. Okay, so it looks like in 3.7 tuples are buggy, and in 3.8 they got fixed. But everything is mostly the same. I happen to know they changed the type of the number object in the AST to constant. This is so that they can do some crazy constant folding stuff, which I'm not interested in, but it might make CPython mildly faster. There's also the type comment stuff, which I guess made it into 3.8. I wasn't super plussed about this. I think this will be obsolete in a year, and so the effort to put it into the standard load is kind of annoying, but whatever. It makes some people's jobs easier, and I'll support that part of it. Alright, but now I know what the problem is. I have to figure out what part of my code depends on that, and then go from there. So I'll first have to try and figure out how this code worked, because I haven't looked at this in quite a while. But this comment seems to tell me what I suspected. I wonder if I just put like I suspect if I don't make them backtrack in Python 3.8 that it'll just work. But I don't actually know if that's true. We'll try this for now, and then I'll clean it up if it works. Should be less than 3.8. Okay, that makes more tests fail, so that's clearly not just it. So apparently there's another bug that might also be a problem, but we'll see what this one is about. And since we have like a very basic case that we know is failing, I'll be able to run on this file and see what it does. So that's what we have. That looks correct so far. And this should be false. Okay, that looks good. Then we have to figure out when that node gets... So the way this program works is kind of two phases. The first phase is AST parsing, where it tries to find all of the different function calls or list literals or tuples or imports or any of those parts. And then the second part is it tokenizes the files somewhere down here. Yeah, here. So it converts all of the file into tokens, and then it tries to cross-reference the tokens against the syntax tree. And so that's where all of this, like, okay, check if it's a function call. If it's a function call, do this. If it's a function definition, do this. If it's a class, do this. If it's a literal or an import or just braces, it'll do the rest of the things. Where does tuples get handled? Need to handle tuples afterwards, as tuples report their starting index as the first element, which may be one of the above things. Interesting. So this is line 400. So we're gonna continue the code until we get to line 400. So in theory, that'll break at the point that we want. Oh, actually we want line 401 when it's actually matching. Oh, how do I unset a breakpoint? Is it U? No, that's up. Undisplay, unalias, no. T break? Is that? Nope, that was not what I wanted. Forgot how to disable it. Disable one. Oh, there we go. Okay. So we have these tokens, and we're currently looking at this token right here, which is the start of our tuple, and so find tuple is returning none, probably because that's trying to do our backtracking. Tuples are evil. Oh, I wonder what happens if, Interesting. Okay, so what it's doing here is it's actually backtracking to the beginning of the file and searching for this parenthesis. So I think what I can do, like a cheeky way to, well, we'll fix it in a cheeky way first, and then try and do it in a better way. Verison version info. So we know it's fixed in 3.8, and if we go, so if my thought is if I move one token forward and then search backwards, we'll immediately find that parenthesis. Or at least that's the silly hope. Do I? Okay, so past me apparently thought that I would reuse this backtrack property, but it's apparently just completely dead code. It gets set here, but then never read. So good job, past me. So I wonder. If we're less than 3.8, then I think this is true. Okay. Let's see. So that sounds right now. Oh, there's a typo here. Well, it successfully rewrote, and this got fixed, so I hope that fixes things. And I can get rid of this hack now. I think. But this code will be dead in Python 3.8, which is cool. Interesting. So we passed all the tests except for now this tuple without braces fails. Which makes sense because it doesn't have, so it starts the brace stack with a 1, for instance, and then tries to find a matching brace for that, but there's obviously no matching brace for that. So it just continues till the end of the file. So we'll have to adjust find simple. Or we can just guard against that case by making sure that we're always in a start brace there. Oops. I think. Cool. And so that makes those tests pass. That's one of the projects. I want to also make sure this is continually tested in Travis. I think the way to do that... Python 3.8 only works on Xenial because of the whole SSL module stuff. Py3.8. Although I don't remember how to turn it on. Python 3.8 Travis CLI. Looks like 3.8-dev. Yes. Or we could do nightly. Let's just do nightly. Actually, we'll do 3.8 dev. They probably equate to the same thing, but this is at least explicit about which one we're trying to test. So what did we change here? I got rid of backtrack because it's not used. We treat tuples normally in 3.8 plus. And then we make sure that they're not, that they actually have braces. That's pretty simple. I think this unfortunately will cause the coverage tests to fail for Python 3.7 and then for Python 3.8 because of the way like I enforce 100% coverage, so now that there's those new branches that are version specific, I'll have to disable those. So 86 is uncovered, so I'll just and I also have to no cover this one. So the way this no cover comment works is I have a coverage RC, and I've excluded a bunch of things that are just like completely uncoverable, untestable code. Like the if name equals main block is, I mean, you can test it. You could subprocess with multi-processing coverage hooked up, and that would work, but it's really not worth the effort. And the way I write command line tools, I always end my file with exactly these bytes, and so like this code literally never changes in any of my scripts. Sometimes it's sys.exit, but I usually just use exit because it does the same thing. And I know it's technically wrong because if you run, is it python-s, exit doesn't get defined because -s is don't load the site module, and if we look at site.py, this is magically loaded when you start the Python interpreter, and yeah, built-in.exit gets set to this quitter object. Quitter. Which is where this, so we just like python type exit, that's where this use exit or control D up here to exit. So that's where that comes from. It's not magic, it's actual code. But no one ever runs with python-s because it disables like importing third-party packages, which I don't know. I have a whole reason on why I do this, but it's not actually that important. So that should make coverage pass now again. And then we'll try the same thing for 3.8, because 3.8 is going to make some other code not covered. But first we must install the precommit hooks. This takes a long time the first time they install, but after that they're faster. The reason that these are not installed yet is because I usually don't use Python 3.7, but they passed anyway, so that's good. I should be able to tox py3.8. Kind of funny history about tox here. Tox. So we used to have to manually add the Python versions every time Python got released, and so like until Tox got released, you would not be able to use it with Python 3.7. But at one point, I was like, "This is ridiculous." It's like, this is ridiculous. So let's fix this so that we don't have to make a release every time Python makes a release. And so I changed it to just like grab the version numbers out and automatically make it work. So you can do Python 3.8 without actually needing to know that it exists. And this constant is unused now, despite being there. Yeah, it's gonna break if Python 3.10 gets released, but I think there's gonna be bigger problems if 3.10 gets released. Okay, cool, yeah. So as I expected, some of these lines are never covered in 3.8 because the tuple code is just completely dead. so I'll just add some more no covers to that. 400. So that should make that pass now. Oh, I guess I didn't build Python with the SQLite module, and precommit uses SQLite. It's kind of surprising. Why don't I have SQLite? Let me make sure SQLite gets installed on my machine. This is desktop. I don't even remember where I configure this. Maybe it was in packages. Build devs, that's where it is. CPython needs lives SQLite 3 dev, probably? Yeah. Ooh, SQLite 2. That's old. I'm surprised there's still a package for it. So I use Puppet to manage all of the software that gets installed on my machine. I run it in a headless mode, which makes it so that I don't, like, the normal way you deploy Puppet is you have like a Puppet master, which is a full-blown server, and you connect all of your clients to the server, and you push your Puppet code to the master, and then the clients install packages, space, or change files or whatever based on that. But I run Puppet in a headless mode, which there's a bunch of Python code here, but basically what it does is it installs Puppet, it installs a Puppet module manager using Ruby, then it installs my Puppet modules, and then finally we run Puppet apply, and this is basically how you use Puppet in a headless mode. And it seems to work. So if I add SQLite 3 and then I run Puppet, we can get this to install libsqlite 3-dev for me. And hopefully I don't drop frames. Usually I drop frames when I download from apt because my internet connection is actually not that great. Unfortunately. But yeah, once I install libsqlite 3, then I'll have to rebuild Python and then rebuild this virtual env. Which is a little annoying. But I'll do that in the background. Let's see. I should have just done it in one command so I don't have to wait. That wasn't so bad. I suspect the other project will be a little bit more difficult to fix because it's a little more complicated. Also, I'm not 100% sure that this will work, but I'll try it and see how it goes. Okay, so got rid of this dead code. Changed that. No covers, and make sure that we're in a not empty tuple, or a not unbraced tuple. It's fine. We'll want to point this at the GitHub issue that I made, so by typing resolves 63, when I merge this PR, it'll automatically close that for me, and GitHub will just tell me that right here. This pull request closes issue 63. And then we just wait for that. But we want to wait, so we'll go back to building this, and so hopefully, it should be faster than before, because it should just rebuild the SQLite 3 modules. I'll save you guys the frames. Oh, still building. Unfortunately, the PyC compile part takes a while. Yeah, and the nice thing about my computer configuration is I check it into Git, and so it's really easy for me to just clone this repository and then run that script, and then all of my software gets installed automatically. It's kind of nice. Oh, yeah. There's a... So pip, which is the tool that installs packages for Python, vendors requests, which itself in this particular version has a syntax warning inside of the source. They've fixed it on master, I think, but it's like a bunch of work. Like pip needs to update the vendored version, and then CPython needs to update their vendored version, and then it's kind of why vendoring is annoying, but I'm sure they'll fix it eventually. But let's see, this should have started running tests so we can at least see whether 3.8 has passed. Ooh, PyPy has not passed. Oh, right. So, Travis CI is super consistent about the naming of their binaries, and unfortunately, when they switched from Trusty to Xenial, they renamed what the PyPy binary is called. Fortunately, I've been here before, so I know... Yeah, so it used to be PyPy dash version number, now it's PyPy 2.7 dash version number instead. But I guess I could have peeked at whether the 3.8 job passed, which it did. Let's see, 3.8 alpha 1 plus. So that sounds like, or it sounds similar to the version that I built before. I wonder what this xfile test is. Oh yeah, this is another thing that I fixed. Yeah, so finally, this was a bug that had been around for a really, really long time in Python. If you parsed a doc string that had new line in it. So there's this like string object that gets AST parsed from this. It has a column offset that is off the left side of the screen, I guess. But I fixed this. I fixed this. It was me. Well, I helped someone else's patch fix this. But now if you run Python, well, now it compiles as a constant, but call offset is finally the correct number. That was a whole ordeal. But yeah, someone made a patch for this in 2012, and for whatever reason it didn't get merged. But I took their patch and reapplied it, and I fixed some stuff about it, added some tests, that kind of deal. And fixed some fix me comments, which was cool. But the summary of the patch is they keep track of the first line number and last line number. Alright, thanks for stopping by. Hopefully my rambling about CPython internals isn't too boring. But yeah. Oh, I should follow you, that way I can watch your streams too. How do I do this? Oh wow, you stream all the time. I stream like once or twice a week and figure that's good enough, but you stream like several times a day, it looks like. Or you have Prime so your videos last longer. I don't know, one of the two. But yeah, so the original patch changed so the first line number and last line number were recorded, and then I had to feed it through and like fix the f-string code, because f-strings had like a hacky workaround to fix the, basically to undo the bug there. Oh, and then these files full of numbers are generated from the C source, and so anytime you change the code, like this whole file rewrites itself. You can see here, it's a bunch of random numbers. And so anytime anyone changed either the import system or the AST, I would get a merge conflict. And so I basically spent months fixing merge conflicts. Hey, how's it going? But yeah, you can see here, like, force pushed. This is just me, like, fixing merge conflicts over and over. 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 times. When I saw open source Python programming, oh, that's not a complete sentence, but I will read it anyway. Oh, you didn't expect me to be looking at C code. I'm not actually writing C. I'm writing Python that writes Python. In a way. Yeah, so the stuff that I'm working on is, well, my passion projects are linters and code formatters. So I maintain a GitHooks framework called precommit. And the idea behind precommit is it really sucks to figure out how to install all of these fancy tools that do nice things like trim white space or format your code, or I don't know, make sure that your CSS compiles, that sort of thing. And so installing all those and making sure they run on the right files is kind of annoying. And so precommit gives you a way to just like have a small configuration file that hooks up all these linters for you. And so you can see like, what's a good example? I think this one has a wide variety of things. Yeah, so like this precommit configuration hooks up a bunch of different repositories. One of them runs Flake 8. These are 2 of the formatters that I've written, that I've been working on. Also, it uses like MyPy for Python type checking. But it can also install Ruby packages, so like it uses SCSSlint to make stuff happen. Nowadays there's too much tools for Git out there. Yeah, there's a lot of tools for Git, but I think mine's better. Of course I do. But I don't know, it's my passion project. I like working on linters and formatters, and so that's what I'm working on right now. But yeah, I do agree that there's a lot of like similar tooling in this space. Precommit kind of tries to set itself apart by doing 2 things in my mind better. Like one of the things that it does, or one of the things that all the other frameworks require, is either like you're pinned to a specific language. So like Husky is very, very specific to JavaScript and JavaScript written tools, and like several other ones have the same problem. The bigger problem, and I think where precommit shines better, is a lot of the other tools require you to install a bunch of crap on your system. Like you have to install Flake 8 globally, or SCSSlint globally, or even Ruby globally. But precommit tries to abstract all that away and handle all of the installation for you, and so you don't really worry about that part. Like if we got in like this long argument at my previous job of like whether or not our sysadmins would let us install Node.js on our machines, and like they were very vehement and like, we will not become a JavaScript shop, no way in hell, over my dead body. But then there's easy ways to install JavaScript in user space. Thank you, Vukat. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Vukat12 for following. Every follow counts. Thank you very much. But yeah, our sysadmins were like, no way in hell are you installing JavaScript, and then we're like, yeah, but we can just do it in user space, and precommit actually knows how to do that as well. And so it's kind of a nice way to not have to worry about system tools. But anyway, that's a bit of a sidetrack. The first thing that I was doing today is fixing this tool called add trailing comma, which you can guess by the name, it adds commas on things automatically. The idea being that you have a very consistent syntax and like don't bicker about it in code reviews and stuff. And the bug I was fixing today is in python3.8, which is not out yet, but there's an alpha version. python3.8 actually fixed a bug which caused my code, which is depending on the bug, to break. I guess not depending on the bug, but it knows about the bug and kind of works around it. So I needed to teach my tool that, hey, python3.8 is better and fixes things. And so that's the first thing that I did. And I suspect the next project will have the same issue, and so we'll have to handle the same bug there. But fix that one. Now on to the next one. I guess let's see. I always forget to make a release of this project, so I'm just gonna do that right now, since it's real quick. So usually when I make a release, people are like, well, why don't you just automate this? And I thought about automating it, but it's just like so simple to fix this, or to just do it manually. Like I modify these 3 files, I run 1 command or 2 commands, and then I'm done. 7. Oops. Yeah, so change some 1s to a 2. That's gonna error, but that's to be expected. It's trying to install itself, but it's not available yet. So this is like one of the few times where you'll see me use no verify and get bypassing precommit. But let's see. That's the second command. Then we'll upload it to PyPI. And that's it. That's how I make a release, assuming I type my password correctly. Okay, so add trailing comma, we've done that one. Now to do pyupgrade, which is the other problematic one. Pyupgrade is a lot more complicated, so I expect this one to be a little bit more difficult. So I'm going to make a 3.7 virtual env just so that we can get kind of a status quo going. So we'll install itself, so -e dot is install yourself in editable mode, and then install requirements dev, which is a bunch of associated tools that we'll use. So coverage, we don't actually need flake8 because precommit handles that, and pytest, just so we can run our tests. I'll also install a tool called astpretty, which basically allows me to prettify the AST so it's a little easier to understand. Sweet, thanks for following me on Twitter. That way you'll get notified of streams and stuff when I do these. What's up, Juan? How's life? Yeah, I'll also put these up on YouTube later, so if you miss the stream or miss like the beginning or the end, you can always get the rest of it on YouTube. I've finally started putting these up on YouTube. Before I forgot or just didn't. But yeah, back to what I was talking about. So astpretty is an AST prettifier. So I think I showed it a little bit earlier. But it basically gives you a nice view of what the AST looks like. And there's things for this in the standard lib. So like we take that same file, there's ast.dump, though it kind of just like jams everything on the same line. Where's the part where include attributes? That's what I want. So you get the same information from the standard lib, but this to me is just like way more readable. So I'm happier with this output. Nim comes with exactly that built in. It's a really cool feature. Nice. Yeah. I wish Pythons were better. Maybe I'll contribute this back to Python, although I'm sure that'll break everything. You can copy and paste that to make actual code, kind of. Can you? I think so. So if I copy this, I think you have to star import AST. Yeah, that works. And then you can even execute it. Exec mod. Exec compile mod. Mode. Exec? Yeah. Yeah, so you can take that string and then use import everything from AST, then byte compile the AST in exec mode, and then run exec in order to run that code. So it kind of works. Nim also prints Lisp-styled AST. Yeah, I wish Pythons were a little bit Lispier. But yeah, it's kind of cool to be able to copy and paste it. It mostly works. But that's astpretty. I showed earlier that I built Python from source. You can see this is the build up there. And I followed a guide that I wrote for myself about how to make a virtual env from that source. So you basically build it into a prefix and then virtual env works. So we'll do that again. So that'll give me 3.8. Yep, 3.8 alpha 1. And I'll install things just like I did before. And in 3.7, if we run the test right now, this tab, unless I know what I'm doing. So the test passed in 3.7, but if we run it in 3.8, we have quite a few failures. And I'm pretty sure all of them are due to the same thing that I saw before. Oh, this is enough to show the example. So if we astpretty this tuple right here in both versions. First I have to install it. You'll see that in 3.7 the line number for the tuple is buggy. So the tuple, I mean, in my mind the tuple starts here. But 3.7 reports it as starting here instead. But they fixed this in 3.8, so now it starts at line number offset 4, which is actually this open parenthesis. And my code knew about this bug, and so it handles backtracking and forward tracking or whatever it needs to do in order to figure out the right position of that brace. And so I need to basically say, okay, you're good now, code. 3.8 has fixed this bug. Don't do that backtracking anymore. Or at least that's my guess. But I'm gonna take like basically this, kind of like I did before. I'm gonna take the simplest example, debug it, and then try and fix it. And I have a list of all my failing tests in the issue in a nicer format. Not there, that was the other project. Yeah, there are like 29 failing tests. I think this is by far the simplest case. Well, it's kind of interesting that this one fails too. So maybe, maybe there's more than one bug. We'll find out, I guess. But this is our very, very simple case. And again, you can see like this tuple says that it starts at column offset 5 here. And over here it says it starts at column offset 4. And that one little difference makes all the problems. And pyupgrade is kind of situated in the same way that add trailing comment is. So it's kind of in 2 phases. So first it loads the contents of the file. I guess it's in a bunch of phases here. But each of these separate rewrites are in 2 phases. So if we look at fix, dict, set. So the first stage, it loads the AST, runs a visitor over it. This is to find all of the dictionary sets and such. Then it tokenizes the source and cross-references the tokens against the AST. And since there isn't a mutable concrete syntax tree in Python that is easy to use, I guess. There are some, but they're either out of date with the standard lib, or have microbugs, or they're lib 2 to 3 and like are kind of unreliable. So the way that I rewrite source code is to use the token tree, the token, it's not a tree, it's just a list of tokens. Anyway, I use the tokens and rearrange those because the tokenized module is somewhat reliable. But in order to actually figure anything out, I use the AST to find where the objects are, and then once I've found the objects, I can kind of narrow in on them. But I suspect if I drop a breakpoint here and run it against this file that we have here, we'll be able to see differences. Oh. It's like, why didn't we hit the breakpoint? There we go. So we should have visitor.sets being a thing. We're gonna make a copy of it before the one on the left fixes it. So interestingly, the both of these things came to the same conclusion here, I guess. Or they found the same call. I don't remember what the contents of this map is supposed to be, unfortunately. Let's see. Of course, this I don't have type annotations here either, so I can't just like cheat based on those. Arg. Okay, so if it's a... So we're doing a call visitor. It looks for a function that is a name, and that name is set, and it only has a single argument. And it doesn't have keyword arguments. And the argument is set transform. What is that? Oh, okay, set transform is the type of things that it knows how to fix. It's either list comprehensions, generator expressions, or tuples. So the value of this mapping, so it maps from the set call to the contents. Adjust arg. That sounds like what we have to fix, probably. Victims. Process set literal. Let's break there instead. Actually, we'll put the code over here. That way I can read the code and run it at the same time. That's the first breakpoint, which is not interesting. So now we're inside of this set. So we have tokens. Yeah, I should use breakpoint. I always forget. All the code that I write at work right now is Python 3.6, and they're less excited about installing my hacky backport at work. I'm sure I could just say we're gonna do this, and they'd be okay with it. But so I'm still stuck in this muscle memory. I'll get to breakpoint eventually. I'll remember. I'll swap them out right now just to remind myself. Okay, look, breakpoint. We did it. Alright, so we're inside of this set right now. We have our tokens there. And start is 0, so we're looking at this set token right now. And I imagine this victims function is incorrect. Token start +1 arg gen equals false. Yeah, so it thinks that starts is only 1 and 8, which pp, let's see, list enumerate tokens. Yeah, so it's killing just this parenthesis and just this parenthesis, but it should be grabbing this parenthesis and this parenthesis instead. PayPay tokens feels good, man. Yeah, I think PV is pretty print. It doesn't say. I'm just gonna assume that it's pretty print. But so I assume my guess is that the victim, one of the either functions in victims or in adjust arg, is not handling the new correctness of tuple. Breakpoint. So my guess, and maybe this is wrong, my guess is if I say like if 3.8 everything is correct. If the first element, what is going on here? I'm actually not sure what's going on here. Oh, I know what it's trying to do. It's trying to find... I think what it's trying to do is if you have... If you have something like this, it's looking for this element here. And so in before 3.8, even though this tuple was here, it already pointed here. But now in 3.8 it's pointing here, and so it's not knowing to find these elements. And so I wonder what it does. Like, My comment says that it also fails for something like this. Like this should turn into set of 1, 2, and 3, 4. We must, if the first element is tuple, the AST lies to us about its column offset. We must find the first parenthesis token after the start of the list element. But this one here. That makes sense. Is arg. Okay, that seems doable. Yeah. There's some monstrosities with this is what Juan put in chat. But there's also like you can just like kind of chain these forever. I think you can even do this. But fancy syntax spam for just an empty set. So basically, we need to apply this same logic as before. And this is only buggy in less than 3.8. Oh, but this logic is different. Tuple bug. So if the argument is a container and either there's no tuple bug or binary logic. Or it's not this. If it has the tuple bug, then this has to be true. Yeah, that's what I want. Oh, I got rid of the code that I wanted. Otherwise... Otherwise, if it has the tuple bug and we're a list, then we have to do this. That's right-ish, hopefully. Ugh. I don't have sys imported. What do I use warnings for? Oh. We ignore warnings inside of source that we load. Interesting choice. I don't think I do that in my other projects, so maybe I'll fix that. Oh, that looks like it worked. Thank you, Jawkins, for following. Every follow counts. Welcome to the stream. Okay, so that fixes the bug, but I suspect it doesn't fix all of the tests. Ugh. And we... Oh, that's new? Oh, that's so good! Is that new? I'm pretty sure that didn't work that way before. I'm pretty sure you used to quit the debugger and it would just continue. Yeah, this is how it used to work. And then you would have to do like control backslash, which would cause it to core dump. But now when you quit the debugger, it actually quits. That's amazing. How did I miss that? I'm a maintainer of PyTest, so I should pay more attention to what happens. That's not where the changes are. Change log. There we go. Core down. Well, that's the so. Control backslash sends a sig stop. How can I do this? I'll use dumb init. Dumb init is a very, very dumb init system. And it'll tell me what signal I send it. So it receives signal 3. Signum kill dash list. That's gonna get me demonetized, right? Dash L. Is dash dash list? C3 is sig quit. Okay, so control backslash sends sig quit and sig quit default behavior. Like, I don't think it's Python's fault that it core dumps. Default action, that sounds like what I want. Say quit. The default action is core, which is terminate the process and dump core. So it's not Python's fault. That's how it's supposed to work. But I didn't get rid of the debugger statements. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh, I was gonna look at the changelog. I want to know when that landed. Oh, that's helpful. This file? Yeah. Improve quitting from PDB. Oh, I guess it's the version that just came out. Like what, 4, 5, 7 days ago? 1 week ago? Okay, cool. So it hasn't been there that long. Just must have missed that PR. But yeah, that's a cool feature. I'm glad we added that. Oh, I needed to actually get rid of the PDB statement. I guess I didn't convert them all to debugger. It looks like a little bit fewer failed. But we have introduced a new bug. Oh, it didn't even check that this was non-empty before. So interesting. Refactor in FireJails is working on my web framework. What is FireJails? I've been hearing about it. What's the jam about it? SUID program that prevents or reduces the risk of security breaches. Oh, cool. So it's basically like a sandboxing thing. Virtually no dependencies. I love when people say that. Oh, you can run Firefox in a FireJail? That's crazy. Firefox does all sorts of stuff. It's kind of cool. I'll have to make a note to play with that. It's like Docker without Docker. Neat. Then today I added unsplash integration. What is unsplash? Oh, these are some pretty photos. I don't know what I'm looking at, but it looks amazing. Cool. Alright, so let's try and make a minimal example of what's broken here. My guess is if we do set of a... Oh, it would only have to be empty things, right? But that gets handled separately. Paper must be slices not none. I don't know what that one's about. We'll fix that one later. Those are all the same though. Well, this one's probably something I can fix. What was the input there? This, I think? Oh, this is a syntax error in python3.8, I think? 3.7? Oh no, it's not, is it? I thought that was a syntax error. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, let's get rid of this tuple up here. We don't actually need that. It should. Okay, now it fits on the screen. Okay, what changed here? Oh, they changed generator expressions too. So now the generator points at the opening parenthesis as well. Oh, that's annoying. Ooh, because there's two cases here that are kind of annoying. Like there's this case here where we can say, okay, we're looking at the generator. All right, we'll just adjust and look at the first element inside of it. That's not so bad. But then there's a case like this where you have a generator that's not parenthesized. And I bet it probably still points at this parenthesis. So I can't just use the detection of a parenthesis to know whether we're inside or not. I think I actually have to look at whether we're looking at the parenthesis or not. Okay. Let me make sure that I have a test case for this as well. So we have this generator here. We have some like super parenthesized things. We have a parenthesized generator. Oh, this I think is the case that I was talking about. The AST also doesn't tell us the start of this tuple. I mean, it does now. Okay, so we have test cases that cover this already, so I'm less concerned. Yes, less concerned. Look, I used breakpoint this time. I remembered. Make a backup because pyupgrade. I guess I could run it in diff. Do I have a diff mode? Usually I don't implement diff mode because precommit will just do it for me. In fact, I don't. Okay, good. Don't have to support that feature. Okay. Have our tokens again. We're currently looking at start, which is 1. Doesn't sound right. Oh. Okay, so we offset by 1. Okay, that makes sense then. Fine. We have our generator expression, which starts at column offset 4, but the old code assumed that it started at column offset 5. I'm thinking maybe I should just write 2 versions of this function. So copy the old code. Can indent smarter than that. Basically just rewriting the old code here. Oh, those are surprisingly still under 80 characters. Good job, past me. As far as I know, it's the first web framework that firejails itself. Oh, interesting. Oh, that opened a new window. Self-firejailing web framework. Interesting. Ah, cool. Okay, so if we're a list or tuple, we're always returning the first element. I assume the same is true for list comprehensions and generator expressions. Generator explore is the seems like list comp, yeah. I don't think this case is reachable. But I don't know. Tuple bug. But I think that might fix it. We'll find out. Let's see how many. I didn't get rid of the breakpoints. Okay, so that fixes at least that case. How many failing tests do we have now? Oh, that looks much better. Ish, I guess. Well, clearly not, I guess. We're hitting the unreachable case. Oh, we'll figure those out. So let's do one failing test at a time. Reached the unreachable, yeah. What the hell is going on here? Okay, so this is our input. At least put this in a file. Doesn't quite fit on one screen, but let's see what's different between these two. So we have a call at 1.0, that looks good. And we have a list at 1.4, that also looks good. Then we have a tuple. These two differ because they fixed tuples. And then this got fixed. I wonder why it didn't work. What? Oh, this is weird. I like extra parenthesized this tuple for no good reason. Kind of cheeky, I guess. But this is valid syntax. Oh, it must become invalid syntax after the rewrite. Yeah, I bet that's what happens. I think this is how I can run it. Yeah. Oh, that becomes nonsense. What is going on here? Oh. To the debugger. Oh, we're not doing that. We're debugger. No, it's breakpoints. That's what it is. Okay, there's our tokens. We're looking at this token right here. And arg is this list here. I'm not actually sure what this is supposed to do, so I'm going to run it in Python 2.7 or 3.7. It's supposed to kill 1, 2, 19, and 20. So 1, 2... 1, 2, 19, and 20. Okay, that makes sense. But my code is killing way more than that. Okay, I don't actually want you to rewrite. So we're trying to find 6.1, which is, or 1.6, which is this parenthesis here. Oh, that's interesting. Before it found this parenthesis. That is...
You hear music. What you really hear when you hear melody is the interval between one tone and another. The steps, as it were.
That's annoying. I don't know what the right answer is here, because I basically need my backtrack / forward tracker to notice this parenthesis instead of this parenthesis. But I don't have any good ideas for that. Because we basically need to keep this brace alive, and we're not doing that right now. Or at least that's my guess. Let's see. I guess we can just return and look at the... Yeah, we find an uneven number of starts and ends, which is clearly not right. It's annoying. I guess what I really want to do is find the first token inside of the argument. And destroy everything outside of it. Does that even work?
So space,
Oh, that's annoying.
not being there,
Oh no, what is this? What does this emoji mean? I don't spend nearly enough time on Twitch to know all of the Twitch memes.
your buzzsaw has no teeth
DX cat.
without having That's the way being is made up.
Bringing a little kappa to you every day. Got it. Okay, so close all these tabs. So like I think it's pretty easy for me to find the first token for the argument. The unfortunate thing is I need to like limit the number of victims that we're getting rid of. Fortunately, I think I need to change my logic to make that work. Which is not great. Like, I think I need to do something similar to what this did. Is arg. So basically what this was doing before is it searches forward until it finds what the AST reported as the argument. So in the old code, it would search forward until it found... I don't even know what it did before. So it'd search forward until it found 1, 4. Doesn't seem right. Oh no, this is the case that we already handled. Wait. Is instance list and the argument is a tuple. Or the element is a tuple. Okay, so it would go until it found 1, 4, which is this one here. And then it would search forward while the token is not an open parenthesis, and so it would immediately stop here. So I think I need that same logic again. Or I just need to find, I think I just need to find the first token after this opening breaks. Yeah, I think that's true. At least for a list containing a tuple. Do I need to do the same thing for generators? I don't think so. No. I think it's just lists containing tuples. Or lists containing lists, although those aren't hashable, so maybe those aren't a problem. Although we saw a bunch of problems with dict comprehension, so difficult. Maybe I change my entire tokens I arg. So we have our second case here, which is our list that doesn't contain a tuple. And so here we need to search forward until we find until we find just the position of the first element. Actually, I'm fairly certain it's broken right now if I understand this code correctly. Like if we had set of a list that contains just random parentheses. Why does it work? Why does that work? Wait, why does that work? It finds all of those parentheses as victims, I guess? That makes me think I'm not understanding this properly.
Education is not the learning of facts, but the training of the mind to think.
I'm gonna breakpoint here. Oh, I guess I can install it. Okay, argument is a list that contains a tuple with this incorrect offset pointing here. We're starting at 1 and we're searching forward while we're not this argument. But I'm pretty sure we're already
We cannot solve our problem
true here.
to be used when we
Oh no, we're looking at this token here. Okay. So now we're at index 2, which is this token here. And now, while we're not an open parenthesis, we'll go forward. But we're already an open parenthesis. I don't understand. Okay, so now we're looking at this token. Yeah, so we didn't move any further forward. And so we're making a fake token that has this token's offset. So we keep those parentheses. Wait, why do we keep these parentheses but not the super parenthesized? Does this work? It does. Okay, I think this is still fine. Tokens I are.else 0. Oh, I wonder if a tuple containing tuples has the same problem. A tuple containing tuples. 310 million HTTP requests to PyPI daily. That is huge. It doesn't quite surprise me that much, but that's a big number. I wonder how many of those are downloading pip. Yeah, this one works fine too. Okay, so I think that's the right logic. So if it's a list containing a tuple, or containing a not tuple, we search until we find that element. That's good. If it's a list which has a tuple, which I should probably just like copy this condition, just to make it a little, like, it doesn't actually change the code, but makes it slightly more readable. We're really just flipping this second condition here. I guess I could write this as this. That looks better. Oh, we don't want to return 1, we want to return I. Reordering this so it reads a little bit better, I guess. If we're testing the positive if condition and then returning here. arg index equals arg token index. Oh, we know arg index already. But do we? I bet we use that in the state machine. Oh, no, we don't. Okay, I think that adjusts the logic properly. Let's see if the tests agree. Oh, they do not. Alright, that's fine. Oh, it's so very far from fine. Oh, I'm just an idiot. Okay. Okay. We passed most of the tests, but apparently not all of them. Which ones do we fail? Yeah, so close. Almost there. Oh, the super fixer. The super fixer. I don't even know what's going on here. Okay, so we're doing search until we're in the else case. Wait, arg is all object. What? We can just do pp list generate tokens. This is gonna wrap probably. Alright, so we're looking at this parenthesis right here. Why is the arg the call? It should be this C right here. Oh, I bet. Oh, I think I remember how this worked. I think this is just a hack here. I'm pretty sure I call victims with just like complete garbage here. Past me's hacks. Is this the no percent format still? Yeah, here we go. Yeah, I just passed like complete garbage here. So I think if I can probably just like return -1 there and be fine with that. While IDX is less than the length of the tokens. That'll probably fix the tests. Yeah. Okay, so it's kind of stupid, but it works. now I need to translate that same logic to the Python 3.8 code, I guess. But we have Python 3.7 working so far. I'm gonna add that just so I don't lose the code. Like, worst case, I can retrieve it from Git as I make modifications. Okay, but that fixes that. So now, how is this supposed to work in Python 3.8? This is the case that I was having trouble with. Where we have the list, which has a tuple. So in this case, we find the list. I guess we just do the same thing as before, like find the list and then look forward. But why is a tuple different? I don't understand like why being or not being a tuple changed where it finds the parentheses. I'm pretty confident in my test suite though, so like if I get the test passing, I'm pretty confident that it works, I guess. So I guess I'm just gonna try shit until it works. I think I'll do I need to reuse this? Yeah, I think I want to reuse this function. I'm getting risky, changing code here. Okay, so isarg is only used there now. Let's make sure I didn't break the Python 3.7 stuff. Okay, good. It's kind of like a checkpointing system. Okay, so I'm only using isarg here. So I can inline it. And not and. We'll distribute the and in a second. Tokens, idx.line. And not equal or not equal. Maybe I'll leave it. Don't need to get it more complicated than it needs to be. Okay, I like how that is indented slightly better. Okay. Checkpoint it again. Okay, I think for all of these, it's really just return search until tokens I. Plus 1. Maybe. Nope. Oh. Oops. Hey, well, the rewrite worked. Well, that was not expected. Here, \n. What are we doing here? This is our input code. Okay, we're on to dictionary comprehension. So I think that works. So I suspect we have the same bug here. Okay, cool, we're crashing. Excellent. So let's see how many tests we fail. We only failed 2 tests. We're so close. That's actually kind of reassuring. So now we need to figure out why we're failing those 2 tests. Oh, I think I know why. But we will debug it. I am actually like really happy that this is like pretty complicated in the old code and it's like dead simple in the new code. So I'm happy about that. Assuming that we get to keep that nice clean code. Easy to fix, put... you're assuming I don't have any doc strings, but I have doc strings, so I think that would break it. One is saying that the easiest way to fix is to put triple quotes on the first line and triple quotes on the last line. Like this. I do happen to know if I would have used single triple quotes, I think that works. So that'll come out the full file, but no, we're not going to do that. Oh, I used debugger again. I switched back and forth between JavaScript and Python, and don't remember what my debugger is. Yeah, so arg here is this tuple. The tokens list enumerate tokens. Too many parens. Start is 1, so we're looking. Wait, what is going on here? Oh, I'm not running the test. I don't want to run the test. This is what we want to do. Oh, we have lots and lots of tokens here. Okay. Start is 1, so we're looking at this. This isn't the call that is broken though, I'm pretty sure. I think the call that's broken is when we try and look at the tuple in here. So if we look at that, dict victims 129, and that's not super important, but I trying to do? Oh, list enumerate tokens. Just had a minor brain fart there. So 129. That parenthesis and then this parenthesis way down here. That's correct. And we don't actually care about the comma here, but the problem is when we look at the element victims. So if we step into that, we have start is 2, and the arg is actually the tuple, but really it should be the first element inside the tuple so that we get the proper positioning there, I think. So let's try and change that. Victims. Should be arg.elt 0. Because we know that it's always a tuple, I think. A tuple or a list, I guess. Oh, I wonder if that's broken right now. If I have a dictionary comprehension of a generator expression that's lists. I suspect it does something incorrect here. If it does, I'll write a test for it. Looks right. Okay, maybe I'm just wrong. It's fine. I'm not gonna think too hard about it. Still not right. Is this not right? This might be what's not right. Yeah, this is what's not right. So we're using argindex, but we compute it to be it's kind of garbage. Before we made sure that it was an opening brace, but with this we don't. Okay. So I guess I need to search forward from this and make sure that it's a brace, I guess. There's 2 bugs here. Do I use argindex anywhere else? No, that's literally the only time I computed it. Or the only time I read the computed value more accurately. I could write a loop to find the next brace character and then go from there. But I think I want to actually have it be correct coming out of this function, so I don't have to adjust this. Oh yeah, of course it changed on this. So we search until we find the token, and then we jump one ahead of it, and then from there we search until we find a brace. Or what? Yeah, I'm starting to think that your comment out the whole file fix is looking good here. 'Cause I'm a little stuck on what to do. What's the right answer here? I can think of what I want to do, but there's kind of two approaches and both of them are not great. Like, I need to find where the argument is. I'm surprised that's not right. Full stack developer. Oh my goodness. I'm totally gonna steal that. Yeah, that's great. Full stack developer. Yeah, like I joked that my primary job is copying and pasting YAML. I'm a 6-year YAML developer. Which sadly is becoming more and more true with things like Kubernetes just having gobs and gobs of YAML. But maybe one day I'll be a TOML developer or a JSON developer. No, that's a little next level. It's like principal YAML engineer. I kid. So the problem is, only in this dictionary case do I need to look for it until I find a parenthesis. YAML is the new UML, yeah. Pretty true. So the weird thing is, I assume that in Python 3.7, this points at this A here, which kind of surprises me. Let's see, astpretty. We have this generator expression which points at line 2, offset 4. Oh no, that actually gets the right place. Huh. Even though this tuple is wrong. What? How though? And so what's happening in Python 3.8, I assume, let's see, astpretty. That generator is, oh, that's not what I expect. Now the generator starts at line 1, offset 4, so it's, this parenthesis is the generator. I think that's a bug, unfortunately. Hey, Dan P. Thanks for following. Every follow counts. But yeah, that smells like a bug. It says that the generator starts here, which I'm gonna call bullshit on that. I wonder if maybe I should report that as a bug. Let me look at the bug for that. Python 3.8 changelog. Really? It's not called out in the changelog at all? Oh, that's annoying. Alright, so we'll have to spelunk instead. Oh, here it is. I don't know why it's not in the full changelog, but this is the number that I was looking for. See if there's any discussion about this. Off by 1. It's a little bit more than off by 1. Generator expression passes as a single argument. Generator expressions can be collapsed with function call parentheses. Off by 1 year. Yeah. The generator parentheses are collapsed with a function call parentheses. The position of the AST node for the generator points to the left parenthesis. That is true. For tuples surrounded by parentheses, the position of the AST node points to the left brace. For tuples without parentheses, it points to the first tuple item. They should not be backported. They break everything. Yeah, it's a little broken. The shitty thing is there was another change to the AST that they did backport and it broke a bunch of code. There's like the C AST or the C tokenizer and the Python tokenizer treated the end of the file differently. If it didn't end in a new line, the C tokenizer would spit out an empty token and the Python tokenizer would not. And so they changed the Python tokenizer to be like the C tokenizer and then backported that to 3.6 and 3.7 and it broke like PEP8 or PyCode style. It broke a bunch of my tools and like you'd think they would take those kind of changes pretty heavily, but I guess not. But yeah, this is a little bit weird. Like, I kind of get it, but at the same time, it's not great, I guess. Yeah. But I guess I'll just deal with it. Have to handle it here. That's fine. I'm kind of sad it's not called on the changelog because clearly it breaks things. Alright, so let's try my first guess at fixing this. Too many tabs. Okay, this tab is fine. Don't need that tab, don't need that tab. Okay, so my first guess at fixing this is just to put a while loop in the ticked comp. Yeah, so argindex is wrong in Python 3.8, but at least it's like right enough, I guess. So I think this passes the test now. Once I get rid of the breakpoint. Yeah, that's one thing that's kind of annoying about very minor thing about the new breakpoint keyword is PDB is a very rare string, so when I'm like finding breakpoints I could just search for PDB. But now if I like type out a few characters of breakpoint, it's gonna match the word break as well. I don't know. I'm just grumpy. Yeah, start tokens is not what I wanted. Just start braces. Brace something? Braces. List indices must be integers or slices, not none type. Excuse me, what? Oh boy, something's real wrong here. I didn't break Python 3.7? Oh, I did break Python 3.7. Okay, at least they're broken in the same way now, so that's good. Are they unbroken now? Oh, please. I don't know why that fixed it. Are they actually, do they actually work now? Okay, so I'm pretty sure this code is only necessary for 3.8. Like arg index is kind of a lie. This really, I should probably rename this. So it doesn't refer to the index of the argument. It refers to the first token position that's inside of the call. Something like that. I don't know. Too many words for that. Yeah, I don't have any good names for that. But I think I fixed it. I'll probably have some uncovered code now. Fine, I guess. .305. Yeah. That doesn't really surprise me. So in Python 3.7 we accurately find the actual tuple. But in 3... let's see. Well, then we can just fix that by just putting it in the Python 3.8 code. that shouldn't break 3.7. I'm wrong. What is the name of that? Arg index. It's actually spelled out there. Okay. Didn't break 3.7. But I broke 3.8. Very much so. Very, very much so. Oh, we just got out of bounds. Seems wrong, but oh yeah, definitely wrong. Breaks all of those ones. I think I just need to skip white space though, maybe. Oh, that's closer. Sweet. All right. I think I'm okay with that. I think that's good. Yes, I think that's good. Okay, so we took the old code that mutated arg and we split it into a Python 3.8 version, which finds the start of the container element and then searches forward to find its first child by finding the first non-white space. And we kept the old code basically the same, except instead of returning the argument, we're now returning the index at which that argument exists. And then yeah, that's actually not a bad diff. Let's do the same thing we did for the other project here. Same. Oh man, that's whew. I did it. What did I name the commit message in the other one? Have to be consistent after all. It's probably Python 3.8 space fixes in lowercase. Oh, Python space 3.8 fixes. Oh, I forgot to make sure that coverage worked. I'm pretty sure it does because I didn't actually change any uncovered code. but we will double check. Oh. Let's pretend there's no t.py there. I'm so used to get tatas. I don't know what that is. I'm gonna... That sounds like something I should search off screen. Oh, get status? Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, my Google search did not come up with much. I found some guy named Tata on GitHub, though. There's apparently a company called Tata Git. What? No. Oh, Tata Consultancy Services. It includes Git. Weird. Never would have expected that. Tatas are also a car brand. I did not know that. Okay, so we have an uncovered line on python3.8. Replace call. Why is this line never covered? What changed here? Is there some other AST change that I just don't know about that happened here? Look, I realized I used PDB and switched to breakpoint. Hey, Woody YSL, thanks for following. Every follow counts. What is our code here? Okay. What do you mean that code's uncovered? Oh, is this their new optimizer? Make confusing coverage? Oh boy. Well, let me look at the disassembly, see if there's anything that stands out. Actually, what was the function called? Let's see, what was the line number? 136. Python is breaking too much Python lately. Yeah, I mean, if coverage is broken, that's like pretty shitty. 1136. Place call. Okay, so lots of spew. It looks like there's unfortunately just like annoying memory addresses in here, but it's fine. Oh, the disassemblies are very different. Why are they very different? Okay, we'll look at them side by side and scroll through them instead. Alright, this list comp looks the same, so we're good there. We'll start looking at this. These still look the same so far. Source code token. Okay, that chunk is good. Let's look at line 1139. Source to args argsters format temple. Cool, that's the same. 1138. Rest function binary slice tract nuts fast. Okay. That's good too. This is not good. This is very not good. What has it done to my loop? Jump absolute 76. Why are there 2 jumps? Shouldn't it only be 1 jump? What? Yeah, it's a go to. Look, they've done go to. But it sounds like it always jumps to here, which is what the break does. Jump absolute 36. I don't know what's going on here, but I think it's a bug in coverage, unfortunately. And it's due to the new optimizations. So like, it knows that break doesn't have to do this like loop stack shenanigans. Yeah, like this setup loop I think is gone. Yeah, there's no setup loop anymore. Let's see if we can find the changelog for that. Blurb in here at least. Removed opcodes break loop, continue loop, setup loop, and all these other ones. Simplify the interpreter loop by moving the logic of unrolling the stack of blocks into the compiler. That's obnoxious. Okay, well, I guess coverage will need to know about this. So I will make a coverage bug report. Is it coverage pie? Yeah. Phantom lines. Wrong coverage, try return finally. It's one of these two, I guess. Doesn't have a break, so it's probably not that one. I wonder if it's fixed on master. I should try master first, I guess. Alright, seems like no one else has reported this issue, so let's try and make a minimal reproduction. Okay, we don't have to worry about those, that's work stuff. Okay, let's make a minimal reproduction. Should be easy to reproduce, right? if we want it to hit the break, we want it to also go in this once. So if start is equal to 1, then we'll increment and continue. Otherwise, we'll hit the break. So we should hit all 4 of these prints. Okay, we definitely hit all those. And we hit them in python3.8. Coverage run t.py. Coverage report include t.py. 5 to 13. 5 to 13. Yeah, we never break out of this loop. Okay, so now we So now we break out of that loop, and coverage is happy there. Oh, it's also happy here. What? Why? Does removing these prints change it? It does. Oh. So I'll get rid of the prints. Do. I guess I should install the latest from GitHub. Git install? What am I doing? I know how to programs. I promise. Yes, I did just try git install. Ooh, that's annoying, but it's still broken, so has no difference. Describe the bug. Clear and concise. Python has changed how loops work in Python 3.8 for speed. There are no longer explicit codes for break. Continue. Some of these seem handled in coverage, but others are not. How to reproduce. I will put that here. We'll temporarily remove the coverage C so that I can do it completely vanilla. Show missing branch. Run is branch, and then this is show missing. Coverage run branch. Expected behavior. This is what happens in Python 3.7. And this is what happens in Python 3.8. Hopefully Ned appreciates my bug report. Pretty sure he's going to be sad, because this is pretty sad. What was the, go for that. This one. That's formatted properly, it looks like. Additional context. To verify that the break is covered by switching it to a, or by adding a print above it. However, this causes the break to magically become covered. It only reproduces when there's nothing else in that block. I guess I can include my disassembly. Here's the disassembly from Python 3.7. Here's the disassembly from Python 3.8. Can I use python-m dis? Oh, I can. Disassembly of code object F on line 1. This is what we care about. Wait, why do these look the same here? Oh, line 8 is break loop. Yeah. Line 8, which goes from break loop to jump absolute. Alright, I made my bug report. Ooh, I added the label bug. Fancy. Okay, so now I will temporarily put a no cover on there and link this issue. Actually, I bet I can simplify the loop. So let's see, what was the function even called? Here we are. So these two conditions combined, I think, work. I think this is equivalent code. Yeah, okay, so that's equivalent code. Wait, why is there one fewer test in Python 3.8? What's different? This test, whatever this test is. Some summary option? Pip install pip. I didn't even see that. You can actually pip install pip. For the longest time you could pip install Python, and it almost worked. But not quite. Show extra summary -rs. Screw it. Oh, it's not skip, it's xfile. Gotta go, have a good one. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, Juan. I'll see you around. It's always good to chat. It's late where you are, though, so I imagine you would like to get some sleep, and I'll let you do that. Oh, we need -v to compare these two. Okay, so we have percent format to do those three. Paren continue. Oh, that's still percent to do. Oh, okay. No op if bug 16806. So the same like bug that the other thing had to work around. Alright, so we'll check if tux passes, and then we're done. And then I'll sign off for the day. That's good. I've fixed my 3.8 problems. Unfortunately, dumped more off on Ned. Poor guy. Just gotta run the hooks again. But that looks good. Just kind of run the precommit hooks first. And then we'll push it to CI, and hopefully that'll pass. Although I guess we won't show that. I'll probably sign off before that. But... cool. Looks good. Alright, well I won't bore you with the rest of this bit, but thank you all for stopping by. It's been a lot of fun Wednesday, and if you missed any part of the stream, it'll be up on YouTube later. My YouTube channel is the same as my Twitch channel, so you can go to youtube.com/AnthonyWritesCode. And I announce all my streams on Twitter, so if you want to catch those again, either follow here or follow me on Twitter. It's twitter.com/CodeWithAnthony. I've never been great at brand consistency, but close enough. Actually, I didn't get the same name because I think someone else had it, or the character limit was 1 off. But anyway, thank you guys all for stopping by, and I hope you guys have a good one.